I'm such an exceptional producer. I pull, when I pull the trigger at like 10 seconds left, God, I'm such a bonehead. I suck at producing. Speaking of producers, by the way, hey, let's do this right. We are back. It is episode 128 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass John.
And
got a new name today. Oh, that was loud.
Wow,
that was a pretty interesting sound there for my introduction. Scott Waters. Yep, I don't have a nickname yet, so I just keep changing them every week. So today we're
but wait, he has a nickname today. What is it?
Oh, hang on. Why don't I see? I know how to do this.
You're a terrible producer.
I am. There we go. Scott Bloody Waters. I just like to call him Scooter.
Okay, let's call him. Why don't you call him Scooter? We all just have these like little generic name things up here. Just call him Scooter.
Overkill, always in the stands. Thank you so much.
All right.
So let's kick off the show real quick. Kind of do our shout out thing. Go through cool things we found. First of all, I'm going to go very quick on a few things. What's up, Donnell? How are you? I revisited the second Badlands album today. It is badass. I can't believe how badass it is. I completely forgot how badass it is.
Revisit the third one too.
I got a partial collection in from a dude in Louisiana, including Jilson, Deadly Girl. This is guy that went on to sing in Britney Fox for several albums. I picked up from the same collection something I'd never heard of, Wild
Horse. That's a good release. I have it.
Featuring James Kotak on drums of the Scorpions. I found, Scott, I don't know if you know about this. This is Tesla's Psychotic Supper album, Japanese. It's got 3 bonus tracks. I've never heard that. I was just watching the other night The Decline and Fall of Western Civilization Part 2, so I was excited to see that this Odin CD was in there. And I bet you don't have this, Scooter. I have a sealed copy of Ozzy's Live and Loud 2 CD. How cool is that?
Nice.
I've never owned it on disc, and then it shows up sealed, so I'm pretty stoked.
Mine's got that big metal grate on the front of it.
Yep, that's what this one does too.
So does that one.
Yep.
Does it? The actual metal one, or is it printed?
Yeah, it does. So my shout out will be quick. We're going to get Tanner back on the show very soon, but I got my Poppets Corner t-shirt on. He included that in a Madras order that I did recently, so thank you so much. So check out Poppets Corner. I believe he's on YouTube, right?
Yes, he is.
Tanner from Madras. He does a cool show, so go check out Tanner. Carcass, what say you?
What say me? Well, I don't really have a shout out other than, I don't know. I don't have a shout out really. I just I'm happy to be here. I've had a really garbage day, and this is the one little island in the middle of a very shark-infested ocean that I enjoy on Tuesdays. So I'm going to try and swim to safety and enjoy the sun for a few minutes.
This is my old man pose of moving up to try to read your shirt.
Oh, yeah, you have a Poppets Corner shirt on, and I have a shirt on.
Me too.
All right, come a little closer.
They were just here. Is
that Mortiferum?
That would be the mighty Mortiferum from Olympia, Washington.
All right. Here you go. I got one for you because I was going to show this. Don't say anything, John. You know who it is.
Ignivorous.
Almost.
Ignivorous.
There you go.
Yep, there you go.
That thing is a ripper.
What's up, Tony Clem? My new Facebook.
This 7-inch actually is a split, and I have no idea how to pronounce the band on the other side. Both bands from Australia.
Throw away what, Fraser?
Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu. Both death metal bands, but yeah, I did an order trying to pick up. I'm a huge fan of this Canadian thrash band called Rammer, and I've been looking for their old demo cassettes. And I found this guy online who had the demo cassette for sale. So I'm like, oh, cool. Let's see what else he has. Because, I mean, if I'm going to pay for shipping from Canada, I might as well pick up a couple other things, right? So I grabbed this thing, which I thought was really cool. And then I picked up Revenge.
Nice.
And
Sacrificial Blood.
Sacrificial Blood, yep. And then Trasher, who are more of a crossover
like a
thrash band. So I picked up all those things and then paid for it and was waiting for it. And then I get a shipment thing saying, I'm returning part of your money back. I couldn't find the Rammer demo, so I'm just sending you the 7 inches, which was the whole point of my order. But it's still a cool way to figure out, to find new music. And these weren't real expensive, so I just grabbed a couple of 7 inches and checked them out. I really like this one a lot. Really good death metal. And Trasher was a bit more punk than I was expecting because they sold them as a thrash band. But this Sacrificial Blood is fantastic.
Yeah, killer band. In fact, I've never heard that one, so I'm going to do a little investigating and see if I can at least find a download of that.
Even sent me a Trasher sticker. So, which will, of course,
is that the Trasher from Philadelphia or the Trasher from Canada?
Hang on, I'll tell you, because it did say inside here, which I don't want to mix it up. It actually has a nice little thing inside of here too. See, little insert in here. But Sacrificial Blood is from New Jersey, so I'm going to guess this band's probably going to be from around the same area. Yep, Downingtown, PA.
Okay, Philly.
So you had it right. Wait. Go! I got. Oh, that's nice. What's that?
Yeah, guess whose that is?
Is that a split 10-inch?
Yeah, that's Solitude Eternus and Iron Rainbow. And maybe we could tell the quick story about the Iron Rainbow. So I go to Rob's house because he says, "Hey, I got this collection in. It's got a bunch of these tapes." And I start browsing through it, and I pull this one out. This is Iron Rainbow, and I said, "I don't know. Have you heard this?" And he goes, "No." I said, "Well, if it's any good, I'll take it." And he goes, "Okay." So he pops it in, and we both look at each other like,
yeah,
exactly like that.
It's awesome.
We gave each other the blue steel from Zoolander, and so the long and the short of it is we've hunted down all the tracks that Iron Rainbow ever put out, and we're going to just compile them and have them for ourselves, or maybe who knows. But we're gonna at least have them for ourselves.
If there's a way, if there's a way, we'll figure it out. But
who knows?
Do you guys remember a few weeks ago I showed you that cool Overkill tour scarf from the European tour?
Yeah.
I had found. Well,
nice.
Oh wow, that is cool. From '82. Wow, that's awesome.
I've got to send you. I've located that one that I was telling you about. I need to send it to you. It's not in amazing condition, but you'll dig it. I'll send that out.
Oh, easy, Fraser.
I got one more.
Fraser.
Ready?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Brand new Ty Tabor.
How's the mastering on it?
You would have done better, obviously.
I hope it's better than our engineering.
But that's an inside joke, by the way, if anybody doesn't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
The vinyl's pretty cool.
I've heard the album is great.
Yeah, I like it. It's very experimental, but I dug it.
Okay, wait, time out. When people say experimental, I always have to qualify it. So what do you mean by experimental?
It doesn't sound like something you're going to expect from him. There's a lot of trying of different styles and stuff like that.
You mean like Ozric Tentacles?
Oh, God.
There you go.
Bingo.
It actually sounds just like Ozric Tentacles, except that it doesn't. But
but it's experimental like that.
Yeah, it's experimental in that he's experimenting outside the normal thing you would expect from like King's X. You know what I mean? So.
Cool.
And check this out. Just got this in. I haven't even popped the plastic on it.
Oh, I got mine too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that a new Deliverance?
It's the Camelot Redux. It is absolutely brilliant. Ask Rob. He'll vouch for me on this one.
Is it like weapons of
No,
dude. It's think. Forget everything you ever knew about Deliverance thrash wise, but plug in your Operation Mindcrime.
that's what I was going to say.
It is so good.
It is very, very good. It is very different from their last album, which was a straight up thrasher. But man, this thing's good. And there's only 100 copies of this cassette available.
Well, -2.
Well, minus more than that because he pre-sold quite a few. So he's still got like 20 copies left from what I heard.
Well, I mean, he didn't even start out with 100 because I got one, you got one, so
And he got one.
yeah. So that thing, oh man, that thing is so good, Carcass. I need to let you hear it.
Okay, I'll listen to it.
It's outstanding. It's cool because it meanders in and out of not spoke. What do you call it? Like theatrical parts. I mean, there are voice actors. Just like Operation Mindcrime. It's really cool, man.
It doesn't sound like an Operation Mindcrime, but it has that
feel.
That feel to it, yeah, that vibe. I mean, you wouldn't mistake it for Queensryche by any stretch of the imagination. But the production's great, the guitar playing's great. It's got some real great shredders on there, like Larry Farkas. Glenn Rogers plays on it, so it's really good.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's more epic sounding. I just got to play it for you. I think you'll love it, Carcass.
I'll give it a whirl.
Wait! I got one more thing to show. I'm really happy.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Check. Ready. Autographed by the entire band, every person that played on it.
Ooh.
That thing really rips. I checked it out on Bandcamp, and man.
I need one. Dang it.
He may end up with one because he signed like 20 of them that will be available on fully autographed copies that will be available on what's it called? NoLightToMetalRecords.com.
Oh, that's cool. Well, let's get to a couple of Donnell Blair shouting out the new Crowbar. Hey, Scott, when are you going to do your second Thrash episode, part 2?
Who asked that? It's going to be a little while. I just put the other one up this week. So my top 25 Thrash albums of the last 21 years.
Did any of mine get a mention? I'm just curious.
What I did is I went by, I had literally hundreds of people chime in. So I wrote down any album that got more than one vote. I put that in there. So those are the ones that made it. And I had 26 that had at least 2 votes. And then anything up from there, that's how I put them in order. So I was actually shocked by what came in number 1, and I don't care. I mean, spoiler alert if someone cares, but the number 1, Overkill, Ironbound.
Wow. That's an upset, but that's a good album.
Yeah, it is.
It is a very good album. It was funny. There was the only classic band, like the 80s bands that actually made the top 3. The other 2 were newer bands, which I was kind of surprised about as well.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, I will have to check that out too, because that's a major upset.
I definitely don't agree with all the choices, but like I said, it was I went by who voted for what. So, and then like I've told them on the video, I'm going to do part 2, and it's just going to be my personal choices.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, part 2. Yeah, that's probably the one I'm more interested in. It's kind of like when Circus Magazine used to have a vote for your favorite, the best drummer in the world, and Peter Criss always won, and Neil Peart was always second, Carl Palmer was always third. I'm just like, how does that happen? Anyway,
that's a popularity contest.
Right.
Yeah, I will tell you that the big 4, 3 of them made it into the list, which again surprised me because none of them would have made my list.
Really?
Yep.
All
right, boys. I don't know what this means. Oh, first of all,
thanks, Fraser, for the question.
Dissenter. I have heard of Dissenter, and don't own anything by them though. That's super underground.
Hit me up if you've heard from Australia about the vinyl. Check out Frenetics on Bandcamp. Cool. All right.
All right. Good recommendation. Written it down.
All right. I'm going to get out of the comments for a minute. Let's get into today's topic. Carcass had an idea for this one, and I think this is pretty cool. We expanded it just slightly, but he messages me and says, "Hey, what do you think about doing a show on killer opening concert tracks?" I think that's a good one. So I came up with, why don't we do killer opening and opening concert and album tracks? So we want to hear from you, because nobody gives a shit what we think. Everybody cares what you think, and we love interacting with you guys. I had somebody message me just this week talking about how they thought it was cool that we interacted with the commenters and all that, and the viewers and all that. And I think that's the most fun part of it. It's almost like we're doing radio and taking phone calls. So please hit us up. We are going to definitely be as engaged with you guys as possible. So here we go. Carcass, it's your topic.
I want to start because I think I have the pinnacle of opening concert / album tracks. And I'm going to go with Judas Priest, Hellion, and Electric Eye.
That's funny. I would have picked the same songs. That's awesome.
Really? I mean, I remember seeing them several times, and I don't remember what they started, what they kicked it off with in when they were at the Allen Center with that dreadful Steel Panther. But Nanoy, Padre Juan from the Philippines, and Pagan Fire. Yes. Hello Waits and Black and Best. Yes.
I'm pretty sure they opened with Electric Eye.
I think they did, but man, that has such a build up with the instrumental part, and then bang, you're just man, what a great track.
So that's the way I like it too. Like when Ultimatum did our shows for years, I mean for a decade, we always opened up with the same song, because we had this one where it kind of was a melodic, and we just stood there on stage and it was kind of long and droning, and then suddenly the song kicks in and all of us at the same time would windmill and start playing the same song, and it was just a great way to open up a show.
Have you ever seen Believer live?
No, I've seen live videos, but I never seen them live.
Well, they had an instrumental track called Dearest Irae.
Yes.
And the first time I saw them at an actual church, which was strange enough as it is, but I know they have a religious theme to them. But they had this beautiful woman standing up on a pedestal, and the wind blowing, and she's wearing this white gown, and she's singing this operatic part, and I'm thinking, okay, I thought these guys were like a thrash band, and all of a sudden she gets to the end of like 8 measures, and then she kicks right into these guys come jumping out of nowhere onto the stage, and I thought, now that's a nice second place. I mean, it doesn't replace Judas Priest, but it was a pretty darn close second to me. But anyway, if there's some way to,
that's going to be hard to top that Judas Priest as a concert opener and an album opener.
I got one. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Deep Purple, Highway Star.
Yeah.
But what say you, Scott?
Well, first of all, I like Donnell Blair's Cheap Trick. Hello, that's a great opener. I mean, it's like perfect opener for a show.
Ooh, AC/DC, Hell's Bells. Way to go, Grego.
Yeah, Grego stole my lightning and my thunder.
So you think Hell's Bells over For Those About the Rock?
Well, either one, but man, to me, as far as I don't remember what they opened with when I saw them. I've only seen them once, and that was in 2009. I have no idea what they opened with. But as far as album openers, man, Hell's Bells and that freaking bell ringing just sets the whole dark tone and dark vibe for that album. And surely they opened concerts with that. And then Donnell, right on his heels,
he's on fire.
Stole my thunder again. He is on fire. Yep, Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, I was going to say that one too.
Although the first time I saw Kiss, I think was Hot in the Shade tour. I was really late to the party on seeing Kiss live, and they opened with "I Stole Your Love," which I thought was badass.
Not a bad one.
But yeah, Detroit Rock City just crushes. Oh, Daniel is on the same page with you, Carcass.
Yes.
Yep. How about?
Well,
I got one
go
for
ahead.
you. Rob. How about? Is there a better opener for this band? Groove Machine.
Oh yeah, King's X. No, there's not.
Welcome to the Groove Machine.
Yeah, and I think they've opened with that, man, quite a few times when I've seen them.
I'm sure they have. I mean, it just screams that. It's also a great album opener.
Absolutely. Run to the Hills by Maiden, Frazier says.
Stranglehold,
I
Ted
don't remember what
Nugent.
they opened with last time I saw them, but what I do think is cool is that the song that really opens the show is what? What really starts every Iron Maiden show you've ever seen? It's not an Iron Maiden song. Doctor Doctor by UFO.
Yes,
They
it is.
play it at the opening of every
show.
show.
Yep.
Interesting.
Everybody can go pee and do their thing.
Okay.
Once you hear Doctor Doctor, it's time to rock.
Yeah. How about
What else is on your list, Carcass?
well, I had Ted Nugent Stranglehold.
I'm not going to argue with that one.
Or okay. I had to harken back to some of my Thrasher days because I saw Violence at Power Tools in Houston in December of 1988, and I'm guessing that Frazier was still there. Frazier was there probably, and hopefully he can still remember it. But they opened with Calling in the Corner, Calling the Corner, Eternal Nightmare, and Phobophobia. I mean, 3 songs like back to back to back, like right. And I mean, they started out, and I mean, hair flying and bodies. It looked like the permapress cycle in your washing machine when they started that first da 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 da, and everybody. So I don't know that, and it looks like. By the way, they just released their new record. What was it? Friday. The EP, and it rips. It is old Violence, but that whole band is kind of an all-star band. I mean, they've got Phil Demmel still, and they've got Dean Dell or Perry Strickland. And who do they have? They have the guy from Fear Factor or Fear Factory on bass, and Bobby Gustafson from Overkill on the other guitar, and then of course they have the mighty Sean Killian, who is beating cancer into the ground and showing the world that he can still sing in his odd pentameters. And but anyway, I just remember that Violence when they after the release of Eternal Nightmare, and just how mayhemic it was. And anybody, in fact, maybe some of our H-Town people that remember the old Power Tools, the stage was about like that high, and so you were basically part of the mess. And I just remember the whole room being just total mayhem.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Blackened by Metallica, and I remember seeing that on the And Justice for All tour. They opened with that song, and I'm sure they've done it since then. But you're right, Frazier. The English have done it again. Doctor. What's up, Ruthless Metal? Thanks for watching.
How about
Did Van
Megadeth?
Halen open with Jump?
Oh man, I hope not.
I think you're making that up, TJ.
I think they did in 1984 they did. When they toured on that record, that's what they opened with.
Might as well Jump, I guess.
Yep.
Donnell's on fire.
Hey, Night Ranger, Rockin' America.
I've never seen them in any
Really?
form.
Wow.
When I saw Vixen, they opened with Rev It Up. Richie can attest to that because he was right next to me.
I think Vixen could open up with Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and you'd still think it was exciting.
You're damn right.
How about Megadeth? What song would they open up with? What would it be the?
Oh God!
Holy Wars.
I have a choice. Yep, Holy Wars, Punishment Due. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, you got that right.
I'm trying to remember what they. Man, what did they open?
C. Frazier says, I have to say, I don't think I was there at the Violent show. If I was probably drunk and don't remember. And admittedly, Frazier had a little problem with alcohol. Well, no, alcohol, no problem. But he's since become sober, so more power to him. He's he's done an awesome job in staying that way. But
I think
you know,
Donald's right, Hangar 18. And another
oh yeah, that is a
showstopper-
good track.
Another punishing song that I was shocked that Pantera opened with when the last time I saw them, which was back in the early 90s, was A New Level.
Oh,
That
yeah.
it was so punishing, but I never would have thought that they would have opened with that.
Is that the Skid Row tour?
Maybe.
Because I think
that song is on Vulgar Display of Power. So what would that have been? 92. I know when I saw them at the Arcadia before it burned down, they opened with that. I'm pretty sure. This is a good one, Scott.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
What a great song.
I don't remember if they opened with that the last time I saw them or not, but that is a great album opener too.
I agree. That's a good one. I was just trying to think. I was going through like thrash bands in my head, trying to think of like Exodus. There's so many songs they could do that would just be killer.
They typically just pull one off whatever new album they're touring with, and that's their opening track. And then they get into their deep tracks, and then of course everybody wants to hear what? Toxic Waltz,
which they never play.
TJ beat me to the punch. There you go, TJ, right there. Black Sabbath. Even when I saw them on the end, they started with that track, and of course that ominous dun dun dun. Everyone.
That's a good one, Daniel. That's a perfect opener.
Oh wow!
Did they open the album with that too?
Side
2, I think. It's
out
of reach.
A newer track that would work for Exodus is Blacklist.
Yeah, that's a great song. That's a real headbanger. Okay, Donnell Blair mentions Testament, Over the Wall, and when I saw Testament, in '88 they opened with Into the Pit. So all you Bay Area thrash fans probably need to go readdress that, because that song is a ripper, and that's a call to the dogs. That's kind of like that. It's same feeling I got at the Violence in that same year.
So I've also seen them open with Into the Pit on one of their recent tours, but I'll tell you one of my very favorite opening songs on an album, and the first time I saw UFO, they opened with We Belong to the Night. That is my very favorite UFO song, and they came out and played that first at Gas Monkey Live, and it was
what album is that off of? Because it's not clicking with me.
Mechanics.
Okay.
Paul Chapman era.
Yep, good stuff. I like that stuff. The song wasn't coming to my brain. How about Aerosmith, Back in the Saddle?
Yeah, that's a good one too. Or even Toys in the Attic. That's another ripper.
There's something about Aerosmith getting on stage and Steven Tyler screaming in that banshee voice, I'm back,
Yeah.
As an opener.
When I saw Aerosmith the first time, it was on the Pump tour. Skid Row opened. I don't remember what Skid Row opened with.
Was it Monkey Business?
No, I don't think so. No, they came out with something pretty fast off the bat, but I remember, what did Aerosmith open with? It's going to drive me nuts. Oh my gosh. But I remember, so I was on the second row, but I was on the end seat on the aisle. And when he ran out from behind the cityscape background, he ran over and ran across the stage, and he comes right down into my face with his microphone stand, and he's just, what? And I'm just like, oh my God. So he just ignored the people on the front row, and he was just right in my face. And that's one of the most starstruck times I've ever been. But Skid Row opening with Slave to the Grind, that's a scorcher for those dudes. I think every time I've seen them, they've opened with that. Even Sebastian Bach solo, he opens with that.
So Metal Mayhem said, have you guys checked out the new song by Nazareth? It rules. I know I haven't, but the last Nazareth album, the one album they put out 2-3 years ago, that album was horrendous. So I'll check it out. But I don't know what they were thinking with that album. I mean, there's only what 2 original members left in the band, and Dan McCafferty's not singing for him anymore, which is a big deal. But I'm looking
Maybe
for.
they had one of those. Remember the Scorpions moments where they got abducted by aliens and put out a record?
It's not quite that bad. It's just it sounds like some modern pop rock, or pop punk band, as opposed to being classic Nazareth.
Hey, dude, Donnell, man, you should.
He's smoldering. You know why? Because I dropped off 5 CDs to him this week, and he's all happy.
Hey, Metal Mayhem, if you're listening, still tell us what the name of that song is so we can check it out. That Nazareth song.
Yeah, what is the name of that new Nazareth song? I wrote down Nazareth so I'd remember. But so now, Donnell, it's got to be the fast version, though.
Yes, like the Live in Montreal.
Yes.
Video.
Yes.
That is.
Yes.
I don't think people got caught up in the whole poppy version of Queen and didn't realize what a killer rock band those first 3 records are punishing and heavy in places.
Yeah, there's some heavy rock on those.
Yep, I have a magazine from 1978 that has them and Aerosmith in it, and it's like the name of the title on the cover says "The Titanic Battle for the Heavy Metal Crown: Queen or Aerosmith."
I want to go back to.
Let me tell you something about that Firebrand song. I mean, I didn't know that was normally their closer, and we may talk about that at the end of the discussion. The way to start the show and way to end the show. Forebode could start with anything and end with anything, and it's going to be just killer. But I remember when Scott Shelby and I went and saw them at the Ridgely ball, or the little side room there, and we were there just as support, and we were so blown away about how heavy and great they were. And then I saw them a second time down in Houston, and it was the same thing. It was just what a great track. And if all of y'all out there don't know anything about Forebode, please go check them out.
Man, I cannot echo that enough and especially that song Firebrand, all their songs are good, and I mean that. And it's not just because they're one of our house bands, but man, Firebrand has some of the most punishing, heavy riffs in metal, period. Hands down, I would put the riffs in Firebrand up against anything. Mark, hey, better late than never, Mark.
Hey, speaking of Mr. Mark Chaos Massacre,
strange days.
He's branching out. He's doing. I'll let him chime in if he wants to a little later. Maybe we should get him on, because the scene in that part of the world, and he's from Melbourne, is just unbelievable. I get packages from him occasionally that have some of the most. Well, that's how I kind of discovered Pagan Fire and Nocturnal Graves, and anyway. But he sent me something for a design for an album cover of something he's doing with a techno style thing with heavy guitar riffing in it, and it sounds pretty cool. So I'll let him. I don't want to divulge any secret like Scott. I can't say anything, but anyway, yeah. Wait till you hear the opening track of this thing.
I agree, Richie. Donnell should replace me.
Oh no!
And I'm not fucking around, TJ. Oh my God, the riffs out of you guys are just all consuming, brother.
And let me tell you something else. It doesn't matter if they're playing a concert hall, a bar, my living room. Those dudes brought it every single time. There was no shortage of energy, and there was no shortage of punishing riffs, man. Everybody.
There was a shortage of working technology on my end that night, for which I am forever embarrassed.
Well, and they may have been a little short-lived, but it doesn't matter. I'm glad we have the capacity to keep their albums in our little hands.
So Carcass, Mark's put this up a couple times, and I missed it once before. Thanks for hang on, here we go. Metal Mayhem put this up. And I missed it the first time it came through. Atlantean Codex.
Everyone's writing.
Yeah, this is what we do.
So I've got a couple more that we can.
Do it.
How about a great song to end? I always think of this song as a great ender for Gravedigger.
See You in Hell.
No, you're thinking no.
Oh, that's great. That's Grim Reaper. Sorry.
Yeah, Gravedigger. No, I'm thinking of Heavy Metal Breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
Could be a good opener too, but I kind of like Tunes of War as an opener for them. But how about Flotsam and Jetsam? I Live, You Die. Opener.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too.
I've only seen them one time, and it was in a club, and I knew almost nothing about them other than the first two albums. But they were playing a bunch of new stuff, but they were good. Don't have a clue what they opened with.
Are you talking about Flotsam and Jetsam recently?
Yeah, when you and I went and saw them with Hatchet and Hellstar.
Oh yeah. Yep. Hey,
Hellstar. Take a pick for Hellstar.
Oh, they usually
Baptized,
open with like
Baptized in Blood.
Dead, maybe.
King is Dead. Baptized in Blood. Nosferatu.
They're all good tracks. There's some of these bands have some good tracks, but some tracks just like we said, just seem like they're made as an opener.
You mean like Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak? Jeez, Donnell wins. He's winning today.
Oh, now here's something funny. What? Ding.
No. Don't say it. You cannot say nothing.
No words to say.
Man, Accuser rips. I love that band.
Scott, what do you think about Accuser?
Accuser?
What are you talking about?
I love Accuser.
I do too.
Now, if I was to pick one track, oh man, I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
All right, I'm gonna start looking through my CD collection here.
I mean, I'm not gonna hide it. I mean, be preparing because the Accuser stuff is going to be coming out hard and heavy soon in the U.S. Finally, their stuff's not never in the U.S.
What? Are you kidding?
So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of maybe Master of Disaster.
Whoa.
Might be that, I mean, that's a classic track from '88.
Oh, even I was thinking this. Tyler and I have some sort of mental connection. Yep. I was just thinking that because I was thinking about Osric Tentacles, and then I thought about Queensryche, Queen of the Reich. Yes. Osric always opens with the same Og Ha B. That's their thing, and it's just like a tradition. It's a tradition with them. But Queen of the Reich by Queensryche, that makes me want them to go back to that style of the EP, the first.
Well, and that's the thing about going to see them live. You get all that. You get all of that. And they do open with Queen of the Reich. And Todd LaTorre is a badass, and he crushes it. Also, shout out to you, Scott, for turning him on to Accuser. And then Donnell, again, tooth and nail. Yes, no-brainer.
That George Lynch opening riff.
My list because everybody's coming up with my stuff.
Hey, Ruthless Metal's talking about Accuser too. Yeah, that's a great album. But the thing about Accuser, as opposed to a lot of these older thrash bands, their stuff that they're putting out now, the stuff they've been putting out in the 2000s up until now, is heavier and more pummeling and better than the classic stuff they didn't. I mean, you can't say that kind of stuff about Metallica, even Slayer's not putting out the intensity of the stuff they did in those first 3-4 albums. Accuser stuff is more intense, heavier now. It's still thrash. It's not, they're not trying to, mix in rap parts and other things to become more creative. It's just like Dependent Domination from what was that? It's got to be at least 10 years old now. That album is just freaking brilliant. I mean, it is one of their best albums ever, and it's never been released on vinyl, but it sure needs to be, right, Rob?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we can get that done.
You guys, Well, I think Accuser reminds me of a Canadian band called Sacrifice, and they did the same thing. They released an album I guess it's been 10 years now. Now that I think about it, but anyway, equally as punishing, equally as ripping, maybe even better.
Great. And it's got that awesome
Ru-
artwork. Girl with the
and-
tattoo.
Right, and it's got the Rush cover on the of Anthem,
Yes.
and some of these guys just hold it together. Uh, I like bands like Destruction and Creator and even Sodom. I still think that they hold a little water, but not like Accuser. I think Accuser is they got it. They figured it out and they're sticking to it like Overkill.
Yeah, like Motorhead, like AC/DC. Get the formula. So Scott, I wanted to ask you what you thought, because Carcass, I don't imagine you've heard these. What do you think about the question that's up there now? It says, I think Queensryche has more or less returned to their 80s sound with their last 3 albums.
Yeah, I don't think so. Nothing touches the intensity of those first 3 albums. The last 3 albums are good or decent. I like them better than a lot of stuff they did with, where they were trying to get kind of alternative styling, and I don't know. I just didn't like the stuff they were doing towards the end when they fell apart. But yeah, I mean, they're getting back to it. But I mean, I guess it depends on what you like about Queensryche, because there's no Queen of the Reich. There's just no song like that on any of the new stuff that I've heard.
Well, or even A Lady Wore Black, or any of those tracks off that first EP.
Well, I think you're missing a key songwriting component, but I think in some ways, I'm really glad that they did not rebrand themselves with a different band, because when they first got back together and started playing, what were they called? Something Westward, Moving Westward, or something like that. Todd's voice is crushing, Donnell. But the thing is, I think they were able to do what you said, Scott. They shed what they fell apart with in the late 90s and early 2000s. But I kind of think they've also rebranded their music. It's still Queensryche because you've got some of those dudes there. But I really like what Todd lends. And I think they've written one of their very best songs on their last 3 albums. It's called Bulletproof. It's more of a heavy ballad, but that song Bulletproof that they did is, I think
they're really good albums. I just don't know that they've really returned to that 80s sound. I just think they've got a new sound.
I can agree with that. And I need to revisit especially the last one, because I didn't give it a whole lot of time. But I think they rebranded to something that is more Queensryche for sure. Returned to something that is more Queensryche. Sorry.
I got the box set of the first Todd La Torre album that he was on with Queensryche, and it was a marked difference. And I thought it had, at least they were motioning towards that older sound. I could feel the influence of that happening. I don't know if they completely returned to it, but you can definitely tell that they said, okay, no more pop. We're going to kind of get more of a feel of what we used to be like. But
yep.
I have to shout out Donnell Blair. He deserves a trophy. I'm gonna go make him a trophy. But this War Beast, Born with a Blackened Heart. If you've never seen, of course, being from Texas, and Rob and I love War Beast because we knew all those guys. Bruce Corbett, rest his soul. There you go. I did all their artwork. I did their T-shirt designs. It was a real labor of love. Bruce called me the 5th member of the band, or the 6th member of the band, which was really an honor. But Born with a Blackened Heart, check it out. War Beast, Born with a Blackened Heart. It's I know the background of the song. It's an anti-racism song, so it's really interesting because the lyrics were a little more provocative, and Phil Anselmo, who did the production on that, said, yeah, we need to probably tone this down a little bit, and he would know about toning things down and being misunderstood. So, but anyway, what a ripping, and they always open their set with that. And I don't know, Rob, do you still have any more of those DVD CD combo packs? because
That
it's
is
got
all back in the hands of Scott.
of the Shell Beast himself. Okay.
Yep. Scott has
Uh,
everything. I'm willing to reopen the store and put that stuff back out there. I haven't heard from him in a little while. I know he's been super busy.
Yeah, and I did see. Speaking of War Beast, I did see the governor, Rick Perry, and got some of those posters signed, those Gamocide posters. But he has, he and Scott were kind of like the Exodus boys. They were like the twin towers of thrash metal in Texas, and wrote some punishing riffs, and especially I've got the demo version of the Born with the Blackened Heart, and even got the other alternative lyrics. But so shout out to Donnell. I don't want to take up a whole bunch of time, but I thought about Bruce when I saw Rick. I thought about that whole we miss our fallen heroes, and anyway, so shout out to him and
Also,
Donnell
happy
Blair.
birthday to the governor.
Oh, the governor, Rick Perry.
That's right.
Right on.
Right. Birthday is today. So let's get back kind of to the topic. Let's go. Texas had some great bands, which means we need to do a Texas metal episode, guys.
Bring it on, dude.
And I never saw Celtic Frost, but that would be a great opener.
That would be a great opener.
Yep, I agree.
You guys got any more opening album tracks or opening live show? Tell us what's on your list, Carcass.
Well, the only ones I have left are Led Zeppelin. They used to open with The Song Remains the Same. Well, that's when I saw them in '77. That's what they opened with, that whole tour. And then I thought that they should have opened with Rock and Roll, because that is a raging. I mean, we're talking about getting people pumped up and fired up. Not that The Song Remains the Same is a bad song. It's not. But that's what they ended with. That was their encore. They closed with Stairway to Heaven, and everybody was, we want more, especially after a 2-hour set. And then they came out and they gave us Rock and Roll. So I think those three songs probably, for a band, that's probably still not as good as the Judas Priest, Hellion, Electric Eye. But I noticed somebody else had Painkiller on there for Priest, and that would be a pretty good opening too. But
I saw them on that tour, and they opened with that, as far as I remember.
How about Nevermore?
Never saw them.
What would be a great opening track? Seven Tongues of God, for me. I think that track just annihilates. But it'd be also cool to hear them open up with Battle Angels.
Yeah, from Sanctuary.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the one I saw the I didn't see them at Wacken, but I saw the video from Wacken where they did the they had the people just bodies on bodies. What was the name of that song? Yeah, Nevermore had a real presence. I when they were in their heyday, I really loved that band. That was it. And thanks for boosting the production on all those, man. Those are they had a phenomenal sound.
How about Slayer opening with Hell Awaits? That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
On their last tour, I think
I wonder if South of Heaven would be a cool opener for them too.
Yep. I remember I think they opened with it on the last tour, and I'm pretty sure they opened with it on Clash of the Titans as well. Lomax, that's a joke for two. So when Richie and I were, I don't know, I'm guessing we were in late grade school, maybe junior high, I can't remember. Some band came and played our gym. Remember, I'm in a graduating class of 28, and some band called Lomax played. I've never been able to track anything about them down. Now here's one. How about when Europe not only opened, but closed with the Final Countdown?
They opened and closed?
They opened and closed the show with the Final Countdown.
Huh. I almost think that I would have rather, let's see, someone asked if we knew a band called Intruder. I'd rather have Intruder talk than opening and closing with the same song.
Hey, I love Europe.
Well, I love Intruder.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. If you want to see the best, worst cover ever, Google Go to YouTube and search the Final Countdown worst cover.
I've seen that. It is brutally bad.
You're gonna see the greatest freaking thing you've ever seen. In fact, I'm gonna post that in the comments. Oh man.
Let's see.
How about Motorhead? I saw some post earlier, Ace of Spades. I don't know. I think that's actually a great closer for well, then again, so is Overkill. I don't know. What do you guys think for Motorhead?
Sorry, I didn't mean to play music.
I don't know. We are.
I thought I thought a lot of times they opened with Ace of Spades. If they didn't, okay. In the comments, here you go.
How about Iron Fist?
Iron Fist is a great opener. Maybe Dr. Rock could be a good one too.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sitting here looking at my Motorhead live albums, and Live at Brixton they actually did open up with Dr. Rock.
Oh wow!
That is.
All right. Well, you boys got any parting shots? We're gonna start wrapping it up here in a minute, but
Did I mention Osric Tentacles?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did.
You guys can all close the show today with the link I posted to the worst.
Oh man, yeah, that is bad. It's really bad. Well, I had one more. I misread my list. Grand Funk were an American band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I actually saw them.
I saw them not too long ago. They were really good, even without,
Mark Farner and.
But
Craig
I mean, look who they have on guitar replacing him. He's definitely not a.
Oh no, he's no slouch.
Yeah.
Ooh, Toxic Holocaust. Toxic Holocaust. I like anything Joel opens up with is fine by me. He can open up with. Well, I have a demo tape of him doing everything from Onslaught to whatever. But anyhow,
I just want him to play Nuke the Cross over and over.
Yeah.
How about this one? How about Chris Manning? What should he open with?
Oh God. Either Push or Sharp.
Yep, Push. No doubt. Push.
That album. That is such modern hard rock greatness, with him on guitar and Chris Hodges singing. Oh my gosh! If you don't know about the Chris Manning album Destination, which just happens to be on Scott's label. I've known Chris for 30 years, and I've seen him in a lot of bands and doing a lot of projects. And I'm telling you, I've seen him do new age acoustic instrumental. I've seen him in heavy metal bands. I've seen him in Queensryche style bands. But this thing that he's doing now with his Chris Manning solo project, and then live they perform as C4 locally, man, you need to check out Chris Manning's Destination album. That thing is fantastic.
And there's
wrong?
Rumor out there going around that he's recording his second album. So
I just I heard something about that today.
Yeah, any good production guys?
Heard something about. I will not be involved in that one. He does have fantastic engineers and fantastic mastering guy. So I have not done that. Sometimes during this, we've produced stuff for each other over the years, and I'll mastered something for him, or he's mastered something for me to get a fresh set of ears. But no, he's got that on lockdown. He doesn't need me.
Oh, Ultimatum, Greed Regime Incorporated, great opener.
That was the song I was talking about.
Love it.
No.
What's
that?
That?
Saw them, and I don't know what they opened with. I'm a terrible fan.
Slipknot or Ultimatum?
Yeah, I did. They were great. All right, boys. Anything else before we wrap it up? And I'm definitely trying to look for more openers real quick because I know I'm missing a billion. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing about this silly show. We can go on forever, but we just shouldn't.
We can. We do need to do a Texas metal episode.
Yep.
We have got some guests coming in the coming weeks and months. I don't know if Carcass, you want to let your cat out of the bag, or we just want to wait till it happens.
Well,
certainly are going to get Tanner back on.
Right, and we're going to get our D. Snyder playing at the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio report from Charlie Belmore. He was killing mice and babysitting today, so he was offline until.
I won't show you the front of the note, but this is 3 sticky notes stuck together, and on the other side are a billion phone numbers that our friend,
1 billion.
1 billion phone numbers that our friend Dean Kinney gave me to get in touch with some dudes. I mean, it's the names on here. If you're a hair metal guy or an 80s metal guy, holy shit, stick around because we are going to have some kick-ass dudes on the show. I won't drop any names yet until we get some confirmation, but we've actually been approached through him by a couple of these dudes, and I am giddy. In fact, Dean's messaging me right now. So,
all
Scott
right.
and I know Dean Kinney, our buddy from Louisiana. He was in Banshee for a minute.
Yep. But
he knows and has played with all those LA Sunset Strip guys, and just it's amazing his knowledge.
But he played in Wicked Kin. That was his. That is such a great album too. That needs a remaster and a reissue so bad. I've been trying to get him to release that album for the last 4 or 5 years now.
Do we have those tracks floating around somewhere? I feel like I've heard this.
I do. I did give them to you a long time ago. Yes, I have this. I have the full length, but I don't have the EP. So that's what I'm trying to get him to get to me.
Oh, okay. I'm looking in Dropbox to see if I have it because I've heard this. I did not know Dean until very, very recently. And when you mentioned the other day something about him being in Wicked Kin, I was like, man, I feel like I should know this. So
do you like any sort of any glam at all?
Me? Yes.
Yeah, John.
Yeah.
Do you like stuff like Dirty Looks and Dangerous Toys, kind of sleazy gutter kind of stuff? That's where Wicked Kin is.
I mean, I would rather listen to Intruder doing a cover of Chicago's 25 to 6 to 4, but I'm very
whatever. You stood right next to me and watched Winger deliver a complete.
Okay. If that's the kind of that, but they're not like Sleaze Bees and Bang Tango. I mean, Winger is legit, man. I'm telling you, and I don't care what anybody says. I'll meet you in the parking lot right now. Winger destroyed, and Reb Beach is a better guitar player than anybody out there.
There's a video of Joey Tempest of Europe watching the worst cover ever of Final Countdown. Oh man, I'm watching that immediately.
Oh, dude, it's bad. But I'm telling you, yes. I am an open-minded person. I'm a very forgiving person. So even if it's not the greatest thing I've ever heard, I'm not. I give you guys. If you've put out a record, there's not. I mean, what can I say? You put out a record. That's something that not a whole lot of people have ever done. So if it gets to that point, and you must be sort of good, so I'll listen to you. Just not Sleaze Bees.
For Wicked Kin over here.
But to your point, Scott, yes, I'll listen to it, sure. And Dangerous Toys, I mean, Jason McMaster, he's a Texas metal legend.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
Watchtower, Broken Teeth.
Yeah.
Get that dude on the show.
Evil United, Activator. I mean, I could keep going, but I won't.
All right, boys. Well, I think that wraps it up for this week. Thank you so much to everybody that has watched. If you've got ideas for shows, send them to us. We love hanging out with you in the comments. You can find me on Instagram at IamMetalRob. Oh, yeah, Donnell, do it. You can find Carcass on Instagram at CarcassJohnArt. You can find Scott very easily by searching Scott Waters on YouTube. He is a badass. He's got 1 billion subscribers, and we have just shy of 500. So We can't.
Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your neighbors, tell everyone.
That's
to
right. That's
subscribe.
right.
Doesn't cost you a penny.
But thanks for thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. We will be back next week with another topic or a guest. Who knows? Sometimes
Or a
we
topic
don't
and a
know
guest.
until right before the show.
Sometimes we don't.
It's true.
I mean, the whole point is for us to sit around and talk music. I mean, grab your drink and talk music. So
when we're sitting in the waiting room just today, it's like, so we're talking about this, right? Yeah. You got any? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. We're
was
drifting.
prepared.
We're just winging it.
I just had
it.
I just had an invite to come out to Texas again in October, so maybe we can get together and do another live one.
Let's
Heck
do
yeah.
it.
Come on.
All right, boys, you know how we roll, and I'm not going to forget the outro this time. It's under the brand tab. I figured that out. So until next time, we will see you once again on the Metal Roundtable for episode 128. I am Metal Rob with Carcass John and Scooter Waters. And until next time,
Metal will prevail.